Hi everyone, my name is Paige Brewers. I am the undergraduate program coordinator for the Institute for Biomedical Sciences. In addition to dealing with a whole bunch of curriculum stuff, I also serve as the Office of Academic Assistance for all IBMS students who are seniors, meaning they've hit 90 credit hours. I don't think many or any of you fit that criteria, but eventually you will be coming to my office for advisement once you hit senior status. So today I'm just going to walk you through a little bit of background on the Institute for Biomedical Sciences, a little bit of the curriculum, and then how to read your academic evaluation, which is really, really important. So that being said, let's jump right into a presentation. Like I said, name and title there. So the Institute for Biomedical Sciences opened in 2014. It is housed in several different buildings across campus. Most of the labs are in Pettit Science Center, Research Science Center, and then my office and Dr. Saylor's office and Dr. Alcala's office, who you will meet eventually in this program, are housed in Cortland North. So we are right next to the sports arena. It's this little building, and it backs right up to the Cortland Bridge. The Institute draws in about $20 million of funding annually, and research that is done in IBMS is split between 4 different research centers. So you've got the Center for Inflammation, Immunity, and Infection, the Center for Microbial Pathogens, the Center for Molecular and Translational Medicine, and the Center for Translational Immunology. We offer 3 different degrees, the graduate degrees being much older than the bachelor's. The BIS, which is what most of you are doing right now. There's a select few who are not majors, which is fine. But this program launched in spring 2019, meaning people were able to change their majors to it then, but we didn't actually start teaching classes until last fall, so fall 2019. And we will graduate the first student this fall, and then the first full cohort of the first set of students in the spring. I believe there's 9 of them total. So that's great. That's a great start. And then along with the BIS, we have an MIS and a PhD. So just so you're aware, the BIS is the degree title. So you are seeking a Bachelor's of Interdisciplinary Studies in Interdisciplinary Studies with a concentration in Biomedical Sciences and Enterprise. So what is Biomedical Science and Enterprise? It's essentially a solid foundation in science paired with business, law, and policy classes designed to prepare you for the long-term goal of improving health through learning more about commercialization of scientific discovery. So it essentially combines science, business, policy, law to make you pretty well-rounded and employable in the field. We have partnerships with the College of Arts and Sciences, which is where most of the STEM courses are housed, the College of Law, the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Institute, the Robinson College of Business, or RCB, and the Honors College. So a lot of classes within those individual colleges are in our degree program, so you'll be taking them eventually. So a little bit about the curriculum. I'm going to dive deeper into this later. But over here, off to the left side, core curriculum and pre-major, these are just highlights for essentially entry into those BMSC courses. Most of you have already taken these or are in the process of finishing them up. So as you know, pre-cal is required, and that is a prereq to Principles of Chemistry 1, which is a prereq for Principles of Chemistry 2, and the Principles of Chemistry 1 is also a prereq for Bio 2107, and that is a prereq for 2108, and then both Intros to Principles Chem and Bio, Part 1, are prereqs to Careers in Biomedical Science. Careers in Biomedical Science, which is the course you are seeing this video in, is a prereq to BMSC 4310, or Scientific Communication. That is a next fall class. Some of you are in it right now, which is fine. And then BMSC 4100 is Experimental Approaches to Biomedical Research. That is a spring-only class. And then I have some documents that I'm going to send to Dr. Saylor, and he can pass them out to you all. That'll put this in a flow chart, and you'll be able to see it perfectly. But that's essentially the order that those BMSC courses go in. Molecular, cell biology, that can be taken the minute Bio 2108 is complete. So that can be taken whenever, but it is a prereq for 4100. So keep that in mind. And then the last full lecture class that you'll have BMSC-wise is Translational Immunology, and that is a fall-only class. So as you can tell, this program is very sequenced. It's going to take anybody pretty much 3 years to get through it from start to finish, BMSC courses-wise. Doesn't matter how many courses you have remaining or still need to take or have already taken, that's the sequence that's going to keep you here. And then on top of the science, you've got some business and ethics and law courses. So these courses in bold are required of you. So BUSA 3090 is Survey of Business. And then you could either take the philosophy version or the biology version of biomedical ethics. They're a cross-listed class. It's the same thing. It's just which one's offered which semester. And it'll depend on what the departments are planning on doing. And then ENI 3101, which is entrepreneurial thinking for startups, and then ENI 3103, which is business model validation. And then you have an elective in this section, and we'll get into that when I get into academic evaluation. And then the last BMSC course you have, which will be taken either with 4200 or the semester following it, is your signature experience. And this can be one of 4 things. You only need one in this section. But you have the option between 4 different classes. So those of you who are honors students and are wanting to do a little bit of research, honors research thesis is an option. Just so we're clear, that is only for honors students. And then the other 3 options are what students who are not honors have. But if you're honors and wanting to do one of these others, that's fine too. So BMSC 4970 is a selected topics. This is more along the lines of a lecture class, but it's going to get real in depth. So for example, in the spring, we are offering biological pathogenesis. Right now, Dr. Saylor is teaching that. I'm not sure what's going to be taught in the future. And then BMSC 4980 is an internship. Now that will be up to you to find, but we're here to help you do that. And then the same thing with independent research. If you're wanting to do just basic research on your own, working in a lab with a faculty member, that's fine too. That's what this class is for. And then that was all Area G. And then there's Area H, which is a hodgepodge of elective space essentially right now. But there are recommended electives, and we'll get into that once we get into your academic evaluation. But that area is going to be essentially, right now it's 29 credit hours. We'll get into that. Good fits for this major, and this is important. I have noticed recently that a lot of students are thinking that it's engineering, and that's not the case. This degree has nothing to do with engineering. It wouldn't be a bad fit if you were to go get like a graduate degree in like biomedical engineering or something along those lines. That would be totally fine, but that's not what this program is. Students who have a strong passion for science would be a good fit for this. Pre-med students. A lot of those classes in that elective space can be pre-med courses, so that's where those courses would go. If you're wanting to cover more than one field, instead, I notice a lot of you changed your majors from biology, which is great. Pretty much all of the courses in a biology degree are bio courses. Now, in this degree, you have some of that biomedical science, but you also have some business that a lot of students desire to take. So that's where the interdisciplinary studies comes in. It's a breadth of knowledge, essentially, and not just a focus in one area. Students who are wanting to get into business and science together, that's a good, I mean, half the courses are business, so this is a great degree for that. And then above average academic performers, not a prerequisite, but it definitely helps. Some applications of this degree, which shed a little bit of light on career opportunities. So you could be a researcher, or you could be a scientist developing a vaccine. You could be an attorney who's representing a pharmaceutical company in some sort of suit, or you could be a patent attorney who's helping a scientist get that vaccine patented. And it not necessarily a vaccine, but it could be like a prosthetic or a pill, really. And for pre-med students, people just wanting to open up a practice and practice medicine. So there's a lot of things you could do with this degree. And that's kind of the whole point, is to make you well-rounded, to be able to be even more employable than if you were to get just a classic bio or a classic chem degree. Little more in depth on career paths. So for science, you could do research, as discussed. You could do clinical biochemistry, immunology, microbiology, etc. You could teach high school or college. Definitely would need a little bit higher of a degree than bachelor's degree to teach in college, but that's fine. You could be a practicing doctor, PA, or nurse. Legal-wise, like we discussed, patent attorney, technology transfer, which is a lot of patents too, regulatory affairs, and then business. A lot of students go into communication for science. So you could publish articles in scientific journals. You could market or sell anything having to do with biomedical science. So there's a lot of options out there. These are just some testimonials from students. We have one who graduated with an MIS in 2018, and then a current PhD student. And then eventually, when we have a student who graduates with the BIS, we'll put them in this PowerPoint. And then just a testimonial from Dr. Bruce Lavin, who is on faculty at IBMS, but he's also the Chief Medical Officer at BioSerenity, which is a company here in Atlanta. And from what I understand, he has assisted students in getting internships for the MIS, could possibly be a source for an internship for one of you all. And then right now, Atlanta is a perfect place to study biomedical science. As you all know, the CDC is housed here. American Cancer Society is headquartered here as well. These are just some big names here in Atlanta, but there's even more than that. There's a lot of places that you could work in the city, biomedical science.